Shaul, an emissary of Yeshua Messiah, by the desire of Elohim, to the set-apart ones who are in Ephesus and true to Messiah Yeshua. By the way, Ephesus is like the epicenter of occult nightmares, okay? Just put this super plainly. Artemis, this goddess of many breasts, whatever. You know, this is where you get your tradition, your pagan tradition of lighting candles on your cake and you're like blowing it out on the birthday and making a wish and all that stuff. That's from this goddess worship to Artemis, okay? They had the biggest temple to her in this place called Ephesus. Shaul, Paul, on his journeys, he like lands there and he's all like, dang son, these people be super devout. You should always look for the devotees of the other end, the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like you should always be stalking the sons of men and women. Like you want to find their souls. Like you want to find them, you want to seek them out, and you want to deliver them from the snares of the devil, translate them from the kingdom of darkness to the power of the kingdom of Elohim. Like the kingdom of Elohim is at hand. Like we got to repent. Come into the kingdom of Yah. We're looking to recruit all the time. Front job, first line job. Recruit. Make disciples who make disciples who make disciples. Like go therefore into all the nations, all the world, preaching this gospel to every creature. You betcha, even hybrids. I love you guys. Gals, creatures, all kinds of things. I love you all. Seriously. We need you on our team. Anyways, that's your full-time job. Shaul is there for 2 years, spends 2 years there. He's like super busy. Book of Acts, read that one. Fantastic. Anyways, he's busy there. Like earnestly contending for the faith. He's like using everything he possibly can to try to fight for the souls of mankind. And over the course of that, all these people who are devotees to these other cults start taking their books, their occult writings, right? Like their satanic Bibles and all of like their books of the dead and all of these dark occult evil stuff, all the doctrines of demons as they're called, okay? When these spirits, like these immortals or the demons or their lesser messengers, they have messengers, all those beings that rebel, they have same class hierarchy down in the principalities, powers, rulers, dominions, authorities, spiritual wickedness in high places, thrones. Those all have the same thing on an inverse pyramid down in the kingdom of darkness, tapping into this like massive intelligence array. Well, they have their writings that are given to them through things like channeling and autonomic writing and all this stuff. Anyways, those books, those texts, they're called charged objects because you read that. It's like you're jumping into the door. You're diving into that stuff, right? This is like why you're warned. Don't even mess with that stuff. Don't go into the Gnosticism stuff. Don't go down into the New Age rabbit holes. Don't go down into these avenues because they're going to consume you. Like, don't go into like remote frequency healing stuff. Like you're tapping into the second heaven powers. Stay out of that stuff. You're warned against this stuff for a reason because it's the doctrines of demons. In the latter days, it says there's going to be this unleashing of that, because there's a horde of them coming forward and they're going to be pouring that out. Well, down at Artemis, this great temple that everyone had, there was this massive working of that kind of stuff all the time. So as people began to become double agents to the kingdom of darkness, they began to repent and turn from that into the kingdom of righteousness. They began to bring their books, their occult writings, their charged objects, their wands, their candles, all the stuff they burn incense to these mighty ones, their chicken bones and all the stuff they use for contacting the dead, all their animal sacrifice, all that stuff, right? They began to bring it in and burn it. Millions of dollars. Lots and lots and lots of valuable stuff that gets thrown into the fires. That's what's taking place. So when you read the book of Ephesians, understand that's the context to what the environment was like there. That's why he's heavy on the spiritual warfare stuff, understanding the mechanics of it. Because the people that he's writing to were very well versed in it. Okay? Favor to you and peace from Elohim our Father and the Master Yeshua Messiah. Blessed be the Elohim and Father of our Master Yeshua Messiah, who's blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenlies in Messiah, even as he chose us in him before the foundations of the world, that we should be set apart and blameless before him in love, having previously ordained us to adoption as sons through Yeshua Messiah to himself, according to the good pleasure of his desire, to the praise of the esteem of his favor with which he favored us in the beloved, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of trespasses, according to the riches of his favor, which he's lavished on us all in wisdom and insight, having made known to us the secret of his desire, according to his good pleasure, which he purposed in him, to administer at the completion of time, to gather together in one, all in Messiah, both which are in the heavens and which are in the earth, in him, in whom we also did obtain an inheritance, being previously ordained according to the purpose of him, working all matters according to the counsel of his desire, for us to be the praise of his esteem, those having first trusted in Messiah, in whom you also, having heard the word of truth, the word of truth, check this out, the good news of your deliverance, in whom also, having believed, you were sealed with the set-apart spirit of promise, who is the pledge of our inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession to the praise of his esteem. For this reason, I too, having heard of your belief in the Master Yeshua and your love for all the set-apart ones, do not cease in giving thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers. Come on, we need those prayers. Like Esther's desperately about to go in. She's the remnant. She's literally the last of her family's like seed line. You know what I'm saying? Like she's it. All the people in her family, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, none of them are mentioned, okay? She's it. Her uncle's there too. But that's like it. They're literally the remnant. It's like Yahuwah says, I'm going to the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, like these incredible books of warnings to the prophets. He's like, I am going to blot you guys out. I am going to decimate you. Because you know what? The children of Israel, the house of Israel, 2 houses here, the house of Israel, 11 other tribes, 10 other tribes, their kings, like literally, were leading the people to sin, the sins of Jeroboam. Like they're like leading the people into sinning. In Judah, the people were like demanding sins from their kings. Like it was so bad. Like it literally said that the house of Judah was worse because they were the ones like demanding lawlessness. They were demanding to go and worship these other mighty ones. They were setting up groves to eat these abominations, to commit all of these horrible atrocities, burning their children alive, all of this stuff. They were the ones leading the charge on that. And so he's like, literally, I'm going to blot you out with famine, sword, pestilence, and with literally like scourge of the earth. He's going to destroy them. He's like, but I will leave a remnant, Sharif. From that remnant, he's like, I'm going to rebuild. Esther is that remnant. For those of you that are watching this who like have that faith in the Messiah, you are that remnant. As you begin to learn your identity, your purpose, your calling, your relationship, as you learn about the covenant your Father has with you, like how to do what's pleasing to him, to love him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, to love your neighbor as yourself, and how to do that from the scriptures. Like he gave us this wonderful books to guide us in that. It's called the Torah, the loving instructions of Yahuwah. It's like the foundation point to build a house. And from there, we learn what's pleasing in his sight and what's not pleasing in his sight. How do we live a life that's set apart to him? How do we walk in ways of righteousness? As we do that, we become transformed into his image to be people that literally are like his messengers on this earth, his ambassadors on this earth. Okay, Esther is that. She's the embodiment of that. And so she is literally petitioning the people, pray for me, fast for me. Like petition Yah. There's literally power that happens when you fast, when you give up these carnal desires in your life and you commit yourself to praying and interceding for something specific. That's literally, it says certain demons are not cast out unless there's fasting and prayer done in accordance with that. Okay, this is literally the conspiracy of death. This is the agents of death working at hand to try to wipe out the people. She asked the people, pray for me. All the people do, okay? We need to be like that for each other. If we would be setting our minds to praying and interceding for each other, it empowers each of us in our ability to go forth and be victorious in our lives, to get these sins out of our lives, to close those doors, to get generational strongholds broken down, to end generational curses in our family, to break the cycles of abuse, of addiction in our lives, to end those things, and to begin to walk in a power of a kingdom of righteousness. Paul is petitioning the people for the same thing. Continue to pray for him as he is on these journeys doing that.